Alex Collier at the Star Knowledge Conference -1997. November 22, 1997. Original transcript by Val Valerian. With annotated commentary by Val Valerian. Hi everyone. Thank you very much for coming. I want to thank Standing Elk for inviting me, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to hear what I have to share with you. I have not spoken in 9 months, and I just want to take 5 minutes and tell you why. I have been harassed. I have been harassed big time. I did a talk up in Yelm, Washington to 1,500 people, and I talked extensively on the Magi, Jehovah, the New World Order and what is facing America. Very shortly thereafter, I was met outside my mailbox by 3 men in suits who basically gave me a 5-minute biography on my life, and then told me that if I didn't shut up, they were going to kill friends of mine. So, I laid low until I was given assurances from Marini and the Andromedans that everything would be alright. I have those assurances now, and I will be talking extensively for the next several years. In fact, I plan to get right in their face. A wise man said years ago that facts do not cease to exist because you choose to ignore them. They are what they are. The bottom line is, I need your help. I need you folks to come up to the plate. I need you to come up here and tell your story and what you know, taking in all the years of going to conferences and taking notes. I need you now to close the book and get up and start talking yourselves. The fact of the matter is, folks, we need heroes. Those heroes have to be you. It isn't going to be Washington, D.C. It isn't going to be your congressman. It isn't going to be an ad agent. It has to be you. We the people. This is our planet and our world. We are the majority, and we have to start taking responsibility. We have abdicated our responsibility and have let other people run it for us. They have run it into the ground and have betrayed us. They are committing treason every day. That's just the way it is. It's time to get off your butt. You just have to. We are out of time. I am going to share with you some new information. I only have an hour to speak. I want to share some things with you. We all know about Montauk technology. Mr. Billick is here, and I understand Mr. Nichols is here to talk about time travel and the Montauk technology. I have had conversations, and I have been putting information out about the time travel factor. I want you to know that technologically, time travel is being shut down. It is being shut down by the Andromedan Council, and there are many reasons for it. This is being confirmed as we speak. The single most important reason is that this is technology that was given to us that we as a race were not supposed to have for another 150 years. Of course, those extraterrestrial races that gave us that technology knew we would abuse it. I can't even tell you how badly it has been abused. It would blow your mind. It would sound like science fiction. Not only that, but the Philadelphia experiment ripped a hole in time that is not easily sealed. Well, other extraterrestrial races that can time travel have been moving through those holes and affecting the future of our galaxy. This is why many of the extraterrestrial races, primarily the Andromedans, have come back in time, because suddenly tyranny showed up in their time. They have come back, and they have traced the source of what happened, and the effects, to our solar system. When they entered the solar system and looked at its history, they found out that Earth is the major instigation point for this. Our governments were playing with technology they knew nothing about, and instead of taking a step back and looking at the potential long-term effects, they continued to play with it. It has gotten worse and worse, and is completely out of hand. I want you to know that there is not a single human being that is in a position of control on our planet today. We are literally under the control of extraterrestrials. None of us who were actually born and raised here as individuals occupying the original bodies are in charge here. I know that's not the message you want to hear. I know that most of you want to hear about the love and the light. So, but, again, facts do not cease to exist because you decide to ignore them. This is just the way it is, and we have so much work to clean up. It starts with yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, control yourself, or know yourself, how are you going to fix anything else? You can't. Now, what happened is that Montauk created 3 parallel realities. 2 of those realities, one above and one below, were very dark. Enslavement, the New World Order, and complete censorship of the mind. All thought was censored. Just for a second try to imagine what that would be like. You can be arrested for a daydream involving a forbidden thought. That's fear. Now, what the Andromedans, a group from Procyon and a group from Tegeta have done, is that they have literally physically intervened on those other realities and have removed the time travel technology away from the Terrans on those parallel realities. Time travel has been halted there. When that happened, according to the Andromedans, aspects of those two parallel realities begin to bleed back through into this one, the main timeline. Whatever was created in those parallel realities is coming home to roost. They are now contemplating exactly how to physically intervene to remove all time travel technology on this level. They are blocking all portals that are opened with the Montauk technology and sealing them. Those that try to pass through are being bounced back. Large triangular ships bearing extraterrestrials that had previously come through into this reality using these technologies are now stuck here. What you are going to see, more and more, are huge ships in our atmosphere, that are going to be visible anywhere from 4 minutes to 37 minutes. Every time they try to open up a portal and leave, they are being bounced back, causing them to become visible for a short time in our atmosphere. They can't leave. They are not supposed to be here in the first place. These races are manipulative liars, and they are involved in atrocities that you cannot imagine. Now, there are some good extraterrestrials here, but those that are here have permission to travel here. We have guardians, but there is a limit to just how much can do. They are not going to take responsibility for us as a race if we are not going to take responsibility for ourselves. This is why it is difficult for them to know exactly how to help us and to intervene, because the apathy on this world is so pronounced. In fact, people are more open in Europe than they are here. But, the United States is where things are really happening. Much of the Montauk-type technology is being physically moved to the northwestern United States, according to the Andromedans. That area, for those of you who like to work on healing of the land, needs your help. The consciousness of those who operate this technology always involves trashing the environment, and that's what they are going to do. They don't care about us. They don't care about their families. They don't care about the long-term effects. They are only interested in one thing, power, and being able to control power, because that's the consciousness that they have. There are many races that identify with possession of power. Without it, they do not know who they are. There are many human beings who are exactly like that. One case in point is David Rockefeller. If you were to take all his power away, he wouldn't know who he is. He is a dark soul, and I will say it to his face if I ever have the opportunity. He is a dark soul. I want you to know that wherever I speak, you are all being scanned. The Andromedans know who you are. Those of you who have attended some of my previous talks, they already know who you are. I have a suggestion for you. If you want to try and establish a communication with them, do it. They know who you are. You are free to do it. This isn't just about me. This is about everybody. I have been trying to get you to make a choice instead of sitting on the fence. Some of you have made a career of sitting on the fence. You are not going to be able to sit on the fence anymore. We all have a lot of work to do. Battles in space? Ladies and gentlemen, on the 3rd through 5th density in our solar system there are many battles going on. There are extraterrestrial races trying to come in and rescue their comrades who have been captured here since the sealing of the portals. There are races that are literally losing their lives over us, and most of you don't even have a clue and can't imagine that anything like this could be anything other than science fiction. I want you to know that when you finally put all the pieces together and see everything for yourself, I want you to know that you owe them a debt of gratitude. They have allowed you more time and space to continue to evolve on your own. To continue to exercise a glimmer of your own free will. 1998. Next year, a lot of things are going to begin to cultivate. Things are moving at such a rapid pace that it's staggering. The leaps in consciousness are now on a 8 to 24 hour cycle. They are no longer on an 48 to 72 hour cycle. Note, leaps can be in both directions, depending on the mindset, as we consciously make things happen faster. Some kinds of events, like the pole shift, will be happening sooner as what used to be a probability descends more rapidly into reality. Things can be changed, depending on the level and degree of participation to alter the event. Things are moving faster. Many of you may already be experiencing this, where you want something and it's there in no time. You meditate on something and it's there, or you think about someone you hadn't thought about in years and in a few days you get a call, or you know somebody who knows that person and you get an update. This is happening over and over. It's evolution. The biggest danger to our planet right now is not overpopulation, not pollution, but ignorance. It's people staying in denial of what is truly happening. Let me give you an example. Take a look at our current presidential administration. Clinton is a dirtbag, a liar and a cheat. There is treason being committed every day. Every day. There are congressmen that are so disgusted that they are trying to impeach the guy. A resolution has already been introduced by 19 congressmen to begin an impeachment investigation. You haven't heard about it in the major press. When you get home, call Congressman Bob Barr of Georgia, and ask his office for a copy of the paperwork. It's bad, folks, and we are just months away from losing our country, literally losing it, and I don't know about you, but I am really pissed off about it. I like my freedoms. I like to be able to stand here and tell you what's on my mind. I enjoy somebody coming down from the audience and completely disagreeing with me, because that means freedom. I know who I am, and I know who I've been, and I don't ever want to be a slave again. Never, never, never. None of you would like it either, but you're slowly being walked down that path, very slowly. All your rights are being taken away. We talk about this being the land of the free and about the rights we enjoy. We're such hypocrites. We're not as free as we're being told we are. Last year, Congress passed 15,000 laws. Each of those laws took away a right from you, and I am telling you folks, it's all going to come down on us, and it's going to start in 1998. We are also looking at the prospect of biological attacks in the spring or summer of 1998. The executive branch is going to allow this to happen to take the heat off itself, because it's so scandal-ridden and corrupt. These biological attacks are also going to be the way to finally consolidate power and put into action all those executive orders signed since Nixon, where the running and ownership of the federal government falls under the control of FEMA. Do you follow me? It is coming. I don't know what people are waiting for, because once it happens, it's going to be too late. I also want you to know that the New World Order, in terms of the United Nations, specifically, very soon is going to start propagating Native American ethics relative to the environment. They are going to talk the talk. Now, there is no question that the Native Americans knew how to live with the land and respect the land in a proper way. The New World Order is going to talk the talk, but they are not going to walk the talk. It will be a way to induce all the people to say, hey, that's a good idea, let's give more of our freedoms away to save the environment, let's start crushing all of our cars, etc., and start taking buses. They are going to do this. Mark my words. It's going to happen. I have already been shown this. The UN is also going to leave the United States within the next couple of years. When they leave the United States and go to Europe, Geneva or Brussels, the UN is going to turn against the United States, and you are going to openly see more and more UN troops in this country. They are a police force. You are also going to see food shortages. You are going to see sanctions against the United States because of NAFTA and GATT. Did you know that we import 80% of our food into the United States? I bet you didn't know that. They are going to put sanctions against us. Note, look at Iraq to see the result of a policy like this. So, you are going to have social unrest, because they continue to play the prejudice card. They are playing the people of the United States like violins, folks. They are playing us like violins, and you are just going to have to figure out a way to take a step out of your day-to-day life and just look at your life. You get up, shower, go to work, come home, shower, and go to bed. That's your life. What are you really doing with it? You know? Are we really doing something to effect change on the planet? There are many wonderful speakers at this conference, but I have a pet peeve with some of these speakers. Some of these speakers are making money off other people's experiences, and they are giving nothing back. Only political correctness keeps me from mentioning names. There is a speaker who spoke here last night who spent a week in my house, went back home, and suddenly he's an Andromedan contactee. He even borrowed my childhood to prove it. No kidding. I have it on tape. He gave him my childhood as his childhood. It's crazy to work so hard to go one step forward, and then to sabotage it and go 4 steps backward. It is crazy for us as a people to let liars and cheats get away with it, and because of political correctness not call them on it. It's wrong. We're out of time. We have to know who the people of integrity are, because we need heroes. We need people like you to say, well, I've had enough of this. You go to your neighbors, and have a little meeting, and you start telling people what's going on. They are not going to get the truth from Dan Rather. It isn't going to happen. Okay? And, you all know they are full of crap. You're here in frustration, and you're absolutely right. I see things as clearly as the nose on my face, and I try to talk to people. This room ought to be packed, and I see so many of the same people here, all the time. It's nothing personal, I think you're great, but I'm tired of talking to the same people, because nothing changes. This is not a personal attack against you. What are you waiting for? You ought to be up here instead of me, and you all have stories to tell, you all can do it. If you can do that with your kids and your spouses, you can speak your mind up here. I mean, it's getting scary, folks. I want you to know that you hear a lot about the Pleiadians. I am going to give you the straight scoop from the Andromedan perspective. There are many Pleiadian groups here, both from the future and the past. The majority of those from the past are from the star system of Aldebaran. They stuck here now, because they cannot time travel out, they came through the holes that were opened. They are not to be trusted. I will say it again, that they are not to be trusted. The Pleiadian groups from Tegeta Myra Pleiadians are reluctantly here to try to help and heal the situation. They just want to wash their hands of the situation, because they have created such a mess. They are instrumental in having created the mess. They are not the only ones. I want to go over something with you in terms of a discussion I had with Morani. I have constantly been asking for help. Okay? They were talking with 4 contactees, but as of my last contact, Morani told me that the individual in South America has decided not to speak. He has basically said that he no longer wants to have contact. So, it's down to 3 people. I know they want to talk to more people, but they are under a directive from the Andromedan Council not controlled by the Andromedans, but it reflects where they meet that anyone who is to be considered a candidate for contact has to have their last 9 lifetimes reviewed for the nature of the intent in each one. So folks, the field is open. The opportunity is there, but I cannot do it for you. I am already overwhelmed. So, it's literally in your hands. They're looking. I said we need help. I asked Morani, what can we do? He said, there are not enough of you asking for help. It is to be a choice. I said, people just don't know or understand. Morani looked at me and asked, who runs your political environment? I said, the politicians. He said, no, that's incorrect. I said, okay, it should be the people. He said, that's right, but their decision to do nothing is also their decision. When I asked what right now does our probable future definition seem to be, and most of you have heard how he defined it to be earlier in my talks, he now looked at me and said, I don't know, now. We are literally making this thing up as we go along. In another conversation we had, he said, truth within you as a race is silent. On your world, conditioning is the voice so often spoken. It is not by thoughts or words that are spoken that reveal to us the soul. In our perception, it is through man's silence that we come to know him best. Human beings on your world become blind, if they continue to walk as the shadow of their own enlightenment. Just think about that sentence. Human beings on your world become blind, if they continue to walk as the shadow of their own enlightenment. Morani continued, in all things, your race is so lonely. Your loneliness, we perceive, is a lack of responding to your environment. In all things, the law of consistency creates balance. Remember your intent, whether honorable or fraudulent. Truly, your acts must justify your actions on your world. Alex, no thing of importance or living essence can be created unless there is intent. We refer to this as pre-existence. These things become reality in your world, with the ingredient of time. Tell your race to seek the honorable within themselves, and not the wrong within others. In other words, there is so much focus toward that which is outside oneself. Even those of us who meditate all the time and work so hard on our inside are still so focused on survival on the outside, when in fact it all comes from the inside, the struggle. Everything is created on the inside and projected to the outside. Folks, I'm not an expert on this. I still struggle with it, but I'm getting better every day, because now I understand it. But, I can't walk the journey for you. Okay? That's why it is so important to take a step out of your life, detached from it, and try to look at it objectively. The Andromedans have said that what is, and what is desired, must be identical if one is to be happy. It is also necessary for a man to continue his self-examination in order to observe what he is, and what he's becoming. This is freedom. When you can be totally objective with yourself, in whatever direction your total experience leads you, you are free from the restrictions of a predetermined truth. To be free is to center and have the ability to recover your balance, even in the midst of action. A free man knows where he stands, and what he stands for. This is a free man and a leader. A free man's mind and his state of consciousness create a climate of openness in his life, which gives him not only stability, but flexibility and endurance. Folks, I learned that from Marini. Please look at your priorities. Please try not to operate from a space of fear. I know that there are times when fear can be a great motivator to do something. To urge you to make a decision or a move. Please make that decision. It's one of the few rights you have left. To make the decision to do something. Okay? If the New World Order comes down, there will be censorship of thought. We may have guardians, but we have to make the effort to do some of the work ourselves. A lot of you are just waiting, and waiting, and waiting. You're not storing food, you're not looking at financial alternatives, silver and gold. Some of you are, but I would bet a majority of you are not. You're waiting, and you know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for the shit to hit the fan, and that's when it's too late. The shelves are empty, the gold and silver has all been bought up, and it's too late. It is definitely coming, and the reason all of this is coming down on the United States is twofold. The first reason is that everything is balance. Everything. We talk about the land of the free. We talk about individual rights. We talk about human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, the genocide of 160 million Native Americans happened in this country, and karma is coming home to roost. It's all about balance. We are an incredible nation, as a people, but we are a nation of hypocrites because we are not walking the talk. When a man like Bill Clinton can continue to do the things he does, undermine the Constitution, and lie. And we do nothing. We deserve what we get. I am not putting up with it anymore. I simply cannot. We still have the ability, the technology and the consciousness to shift the consciousness of the whole world. I talk to people who are over in Europe. I am in contact with others, and they are sitting there and asking me, Alex, what is wrong with the Americans? Why are they doing this? I jokingly said, they haven't drank enough beer yet. They simply can't understand how or why we are continuing to allow this to happen. Frankly, I can't understand how the people are letting this continue. Those of you who have access to the internet, please go to the Leading Edge Research Group webpage. It's http://www.truffx.org. I am going to be getting all the information out to you. There is also Defending Sacred Ground, with a lot of information that is now coming to pass. I have been putting this out. What's coming is in the book. Protect and honor your families. Try to heal your relationships. This is about humanity, not about your BMW or your car payments. It is time to shift gears. It is time to think a different way, and if you can't imagine what that's like, pretend to imagine to think a different way. You'll figure it out. You're really smart people, incredible beings, all of you. All of you have come from different worlds. All of you. You'll figure it out. Just give yourself the space to do it. You're going to have to do that. Now, I wanted to read you something about family. This piece is entitled, To My Grown-Up Children. The author is unknown. I want you to all think about this. My hands were busy through the day. I didn't have much time to play. The little games you asked me to, I didn't have much time for you. I wash your clothes. I sew and cook, but when you bring your picture book and ask me to please share your fun, I'd say, a little later, hun. I'd tuck you in while safe at night and hear your prayers and turn off the light when tiptoeing to the door. I'd wish to stay a moment more. Life is short. The years rush past. A little child grows up so fast, no longer standing at your side with precious secrets to confide. The picture books are put away. There are no longer games to play, no good night kiss, no prayers to hear. All that belongs to yesteryear. My hands, once busy, now are still. The days are long and hard to fill. I wish I could go back and do all the little things you asked me to. The author is unknown, but ladies and gentlemen, we all have parents that didn't give us enough time, and now we are parents and not giving our kids enough time. The bottom line is that our kids are the future. We are leaving them whatever it is that we don't do now to clean up, and it isn't fair, because of our apathy, to leave them with this mess. I am appealing to you. Please take a risk, and do something. Thank you very much.